Yeah, it is recording. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for, honestly, it's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And then, I think it's, I know the venue is not what we planned it to be, but right. it's quite nice.
Yeah. The weather's nice, getting some vitamin D.
It's quite, hopefully you don't squint too much, and if you want to change angles, we can always change it.
No more. I'm happy.
But yeah, really, really excited to have you. And I don't want to do your introduction. I never do that. So
okay.
I let our guests do their own introduction.
Yeah.
Because I'll be,
fine.
You're the best person to introduce yourself. So go on, say what you want to say and introduce yourself and who you are, what you do.
Look in there. I'll just talking to you.
Talk to me.
Okay, well.
And then eventually, you can look at the cameras as well.
All right. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Shiksha. We're here to discuss women in engineering because I studied civil engineering at uni and I currently work as a highways engineer. And today we're just going to talk about work, not work, everything really. No.
Everything.
Yeah.
So tell us about the before we start engineering, all that stuff. Blood donation. What happened today?
My God. So obviously, I drove there and then I went in. I didn't eat that much today and I knew I should have eaten because every time I go to give blood, I always make sure I take all the iron tablets. I make sure, I eat more than usual. But today I got busy and I didn't eat and I was stressing as well. So yeah, they took my iron level and it was low and they're like, oh, you can't give blood and you're also banned to give blood for the next 12 months.
I didn't know they could do that.
Neither did I.
Oh.
Apparently I can go to GP and get tested properly and tell them, oh, that was just a fluke or I just had a bad day and they can lift it, but it's work. So
have you ever had it low iron level?
So
it's not
what they do is...
genetic, is it?
No. So what they do is they just take a bit of blood and then put this in liquid and it should sink. And if you have low iron, it just kind of floats at the top. Yeah. And that happens all the time when I do it. So it's like, oh, you've got low iron. But then they get a machine out and the machine tells you, no. That was like, But then today I was like, oh, this has happened loads of times before. But then obviously the machine also told me it was low. It wasn't actually low because it was 114 and the nurse said, actually, average women have 115 to 120, but when we go to give blood, they expect us to have 125 because they take blood out and they want us to have more iron than usual. So
the risk there was you were gonna collapse if you had given the blood.
Yeah, not enough oxygen. So
I think that's kind of it worked out fine for us because.
Well, that's it. Actually, it probably would have taken a lot more time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's good. But how often do you give blood? It's because it's
every
something.
4 months, every 6 months.
You do that?
Whenever. Yeah. So what I do is I normally give blood. I go home and I book another one straight away. So wherever it allows. I don't think it's every 4 months. I think it's probably every 6 months actually. But whatever it allows me, I'll just take the next appointment.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, you should do it.
I should. I have.
You used to, right?
Yeah, I have done it before.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened. I think and then as soon, I don't know, this is like fluke or what's the word? There's a word that when it happens, and it's a coincidence, but there's a word, it'll come to me in a sec. So you said you couldn't give the blood today due to low iron level. And then after you rang me, I got a call from blood transplant, NHS.
No way. Call?
Yeah, call.
Oh,
from and it says, underneath it said it could be like sales or something.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a scam, but it was so fluky.
That is weird.
So fluky.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
What? Yeah, what is the word?
And after you actually passed out and they're ringing me, she was about to go on this thing and then...
No. So I was all good because they didn't take any blood from me.
Good.
Yeah. You should give blood though, because I think they were saying for pandemic as well, they really need as much blood as they can get. Yeah. So.
All right, I'm going to book it tomorrow.
There we go. You have to tell me.
And please, guys, give blood. I think it's a very important thing to do. I used to do it before and then I don't know what happened. And
I think because obviously genetics, blood group is genetics. So Asian have one group, and then people here have different group types. So because Asian people don't give that much blood as well, so they're always lacking in our blood type, group. So that's why we should encourage, Asian people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to give
blood, guys. Give blood. There you go. Just ring your GP and whoever, and just give blood.
Yeah.
It's a good cause.
Giveblood.co.uk.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. And if you're international, whatever, Google it. Anyways, so the way we start the show is it's backwards front, I call it. So we do Q&A first. You do Q&A last.
Yeah.
I think it gives flavor and people understand what we're going to talk about. So Q&A. There's a few questions that people asked. And
did they?
Yeah, there were about 5 or 6 questions.
All right, okay.
Some interesting, some
not
so interesting. You can talk about your question if you want. But
no.
Right. So the first one is, what inspired you to do engineering?
Okay, this is going to be a very boring answer. So when I was in school, I think moved from Nepal in year 9, and I just was good at maths and science, because I think it was slightly easier here than it was in Nepal.
It was, yeah, definitely.
So I went to study A-levels, and then I was like, I'll just do maths and science. And then I didn't actually do that well in my science A-levels. We'll talk about that later. And then I don't really know what I wanted to do, but there was a girl I was in one of the physics class with, and she said, she was Nepalese as well, when she said, I'm doing civil engineering. And I thought, oh.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that? So I went home, looked, I was like, I think I can do this. Yeah. And I just applied and I got a place and I did it. Okay. Yeah, so it was not, I was not always into, I really didn't know what I wanted to do at all. So that just kind of came about, and everything's just fallen in place since then. Yeah,
which is, I guess that's the way it panned out for me as well. I didn't know what to do until the last day of when we have to do that UCAS thing.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do. I knew it was going to be science-based or engineering, some sort of engineering. Yeah. And I went and spoke to one of the physics teacher, and then he said, how about you try motorsport engineering or something related? And I was like, okay. And I went and Googled, and what they recommended actually was that if you did mechanical, is a lot more broader, so you could move around a lot more. So, and then that's how I decided to get in as well. So I think it happens with
it's really weird
situation more than.
I think being a woman, engineering never ever crossed my mind ever. And if the girl I was studying with, if she hadn't said she was doing engineering, I just probably wouldn't do it. So it just, looking back, I really didn't know what I was going to do.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because we're going to talk, obviously it's all about women in engineering, not all about, but sections about it. But it is quite a strange one, isn't it? It's always been a male dominated the whole engineering, not just civil or mechanical. Mechanical even less.
Even the whole of STEM really can go,
And I don't know why that is, and we're going to discuss that in a sec. So we'll move on swiftly.
Swiftly.
Next one. So, do you still want to be engineer now that now you've become one? Do you still want to become?
Yeah, I don't see myself doing anything else so far. Maybe things will change in the future, but at the moment, I'm very happy with where I am, and I do.
You love it.
I do love it. Yeah.
That's probably the first one to say I love engineering.
I don't know. Everyone in my job would probably give you that answer, or at least 70% of people would give you that answer.
Probably the company then. I've been working in the wrong company, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's the discipline as well, but it could be.
It's more. I think it might be more interesting civil than mechanical, but it's profession, isn't it? I think it's more profession versus non-profession. That's what my problem was, not just engineering versus something else. I think I just didn't like that 9 to 5.
Yeah, I think that could be it.
And the work-life balance for me was getting not too bad, because I was never focused at work, to be honest. Sorry, my employers. Never.
I'm sure. You've done a great job. You don't need to be focused all the time.
They do love me, but for me, I think that 9 to 5 style of working, it just didn't suit me.
It's not for everyone.
Didn't suit my personality, and I like doing stuff actively, and it just made me very, very dull. and I wasn't achieving as much, I think, in life.
Yeah.
Job wise, I was making money and stuff, but in life I want to do other stuff, like do this.
Yeah.
And I was just very tired. I just didn't have time to do anything.
And you've done so much since you've gone part-time, or is that knowledge everyone knows? Okay, all right.
Bit of trading, bit of this, bit of that.
All right, okay.
Spread it around and inspire people. Right, third one. What? Okay, what happens if you can't solve a problem at work? This is, and how'd you come about it?
It happens a lot. It happens every day. I will have a problem and I'll spend hours trying to come up with a solution, and if I really think I can't come up with it, I'll just go to people who I think will be able to help me in that area, and I'll just like call them, message them, call them. I call them up till they pick up, but I just ask for help. It's really, I think, one thing I have realized is you just need to be open to asking for help, because otherwise you'll get nowhere in engineering if you are like shut people
egoistic
down.
As well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. Like, and it's not.
I think
bad
that's any job, probably, really, isn't it? It's like you're not gonna know everything straight away. So
the only problem is that when we're like interviewed and we lie about things that we think
we'll talk about that, because I've got a new job recently.
We
and
can
I can talk about that.
The things that you lied about.
We
to
can
get the
talk
job.
about that.
Right. What does the word engineer mean? And is it related to engine?
No. Maybe, in some sense, maybe. But engineering, I think, no one's ever asked me that question before. But
it's just
someone that just solves problem, I guess. Problem solving effectively.
I didn't want to Google this as well. So this was kind of like a open thing for me.
I don't know about like mechanical engineering, but civil engineering, I always say this. Everyone can do civil engineering. You just need money. But my job is almost to do something everyone can do effectively, efficiently, and not using as much time and money. And that's probably what it is, really.
So less resources as possible, and the best output as possible.
That's it. That's and I think that's every engineering, really.
It is.
Because if you give enough money, everyone can do everything, isn't it?
Yeah, true. All right, so this one I think you kind of answered, but I'm going to answer.
Go on.
Ask again.
Yeah, because that person.
This is like, if you could switch profession or choose any profession in the world that you could, and this could be traveling, it could be a YouTuber, you could be a makeup whatever artist or whatever. What would you choose?
Well, I was doing YouTube channel for a bit, wasn't I? and I did really enjoy it, but and I would want to continue that, but at the moment I do want to focus on my chartered. I want to get that done. That's why I've put that in the back burner, and I just want to finish my chartership. But I guess you can always make excuses and you can keep coming up with it. But even though if I did YouTube in the future, I still don't see myself quitting engineering yet. But
what about any other profession that you might be like, maybe I can try that out, like a banking, no. Trading or something like that?
I've never really given trading a thought. So
that's something I think when I speak to your brother, we're going to get you involved as well. Because honestly, it's something everyone should do as a side hustle anyway.
I think it's a lot. Like what I see, it just seems...
It's a different discipline.
Yeah.
And it's more like, it's a human emotion that plays a massive role in trading. More than anything, and I'm getting bit by insects.
I know.
But so it's all about how you manage your emotion more than anything. So 90% is emotion, and how your psychology works and all that stuff on trading.
I see,
and then 10% is skill. So
that's
people
mental,
focus. Yeah, it is. And
because you can give in to your emotions and do something erratic and...
Yeah, if you're making, let's say, massive loss or something, how are you going to recover out of that?
Yeah.
So it's all about how you,
That sounds scary. Not my cup of tea.
It's not anyone's cup of tea. It never should be anyone's cup of tea anyway.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love trading. I do love trading. Right. The final question is, what has been your worst day as an engineer? So things that have happened, or like, your boss like shouting at you, or anything like, what do you think was the worst day for you as an engineer so far? Fingers crossed and touch wood, it's not going to happen, but
hopefully that person's not going to see this. But I feel like at work or outside of work, I'm friendly and I'm nice to most people. And, you know, if I need help, I'll ask for help. I have no shame in asking for like any help. But when you ask for help, and I was working with someone, and every time I asked for help, I didn't really get anything back, which didn't really bother me. But also I would get so I wouldn't get the answer I was looking for, but I would get really condescending like remarks. And, you know, he was my senior, but he wasn't really like my team leader or anyone, you know. So, but it was like that every single time. It was like that. And I think it really did get to me for a while. And then I just went up to my team leader and I said, I don't want to work with this person anymore.
It kind of puts you off as well, doesn't it? Of working.
Yeah, I would get up, look forward to going to work. But then the fact that I need to work with him, it was just like, oh my God, like I don't want to do this. So I was vocal about it, and I said, I don't want to work with this person. And, you know, I don't know. I think maybe I should find a solution to work around difficult people, but I just gave up.
Yeah, but it's not, you shouldn't be managing humans as well as managing the work. Yeah, exactly. You should. Yeah, it's all about man management at times. Like, it doesn't mean that if you're not responsible, well, that's it.
I'm not responsible for someone to be a good person. No. Like, you know, I can't change.
And you can only do certain things, and there's a boundary and limit to what you could do.
That's it.
And if he goes past it,
look at this.
Having a lunch, full on lunch. Do you want something? So our team's just like having a good lunch. So do you want to reset that? Cool. So yeah, I think we just cut it. But we're talking about managing people.
Yeah, so I think you can have difficult times and just working with difficult people, but you're going to get that in any job probably. You know, I've not worked in other jobs, but that's that. Yeah.
No, that is difficult to work with people.
So that's probably been, I think there was time, maybe month or a bit more. I was working with this person, and I was kind of dreading to going into work, and you know, one person can make that much impact. It's mad.
It is bad, and it's not healthy either, because that person is actually putting you on a very stressful mode. So every time you see them, your body's going to act very weird, isn't it? Differently. Yeah. And that's not good. And yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
But I do think when you know, come across like days like that or people like that, you just have to tell other people, because if you keep it inside, then, you know, you will not forgive yourself, first of all, not speaking up. And then you will obviously regret working, because you have to work with them all the time anyway. So you just need to be vocal, and someone else can manage him. His manager can manage them, or
but some people
she.
And also, he, she. Some people are very hard to manage. Even a manager can't manage people like that. And I've seen mostly these are like principal engineers. They have a very high ego. Not anyone in particular, but I have seen like a range of people, and I've worked in a few different companies. And those people have had a kind of identity in the company where they're the experts, and they think that whatever they do, say, they literally can do anything they want, and they have that freedom, and that gives them a very bad behavior, I think. Some people are very good with it. Like, I've seen very good principal engineers, but I've seen very bad ones, and these people have been there forever, and it's hard to talk around them and engage with them. But I have my own ways of doing things. But it's not easy to actually, and especially if you're an introvert, it's not actually easy to do that. I guess hopefully people can behave in a good way and treat everyone well.
And I think it's also, obviously, do it in a respectful way and do it but it's important to call them out as well. When you feel like they've been condescending, and just ask them, why have you done that?
Why are you picking on me?
If you just call that out, they won't really, you know, have a reason. No. And they will like think about it. So I think it is important to just call them out.
Call them out. Stop. And it's not bullying as such, but it is
very close to bullying. It's like bullying. Microaggression type of thing, and it's just.
And there's no room for that anywhere.
No.
Especially in the world, at work, anywhere around. See them, call them out. Go to HR, speak to them. No, we can't.
It's very hard to. When it's little things, though, it's very hard, because if you start complaining about every single thing that happens to you, people won't also take you seriously, and people will think you're being petty. So you have to find the balance. You know, when is it the right time to go? Right. But I think she'll move on. Don't want to bore people.
All right.
It's just at work.
Well, okay, cool. So we're going to swiftly move on, and now we're going to talk about women in engineering. Why there is so much gap in like male versus female in engineering? What do you think is the reason for that?
Well, I guess a simple enough reason, like I said, I didn't even think about engineering. So that's a major problem. So if we have, all this, everyone that's doing maths and science, and they don't even know that engineering can be a career for them to begin with. So there's something clearly missing there.
Lack of information or
lack of education.
And is it lack of role model as such? Like if you saw, for example, someone like a model of someone,
100%,
you'd be like, I want to be like that person.
Yeah.
And there's always like someone that you can look up to. But in engineering, especially as women, there isn't that many role models.
I do think it kind of starts from the playground type of thing almost, men are engineers, women are not. It's almost like, and then it begins like, men go out to play, like kids even like go out to play, women don't. They're not encouraged to go out to play, men are. And I think it's just like playground politics type of thing. It just like picks up from there.
Yeah.
And I think unless it's almost like subconsciously that's encouraged. So unless we consciously try to change that, it just will not change. Yeah, and I think I obviously once you get to that, I don't know, it's really difficult because, countries like India have more women in engineering than countries like the UK, which is like odd, isn't it? Yeah. But it's because people there feel the need to kind of like fight for that balance. Yeah. So, consciously they're like trying to do that, but here no one is. No. Yeah. And even in civil engineering, say if there were 80 guys and 10 girls in my course, out of 10 girls, like 90% were like person of color. Yeah. So, there was like hardly any white females in my class. So it's like, it does, there's not, I guess we just don't know.
Yeah,
that's
we don't
the main
know.
thing.
And that's quite strange as well, that I've noticed that there's people with like colors, they actually do engineering, and then there's the other side, like white folks, they don't, or female white folks, they don't really get into engineering. And they get into like other creative stuff, which is like arts and law and stuff, like English language, literature, which is equally important. But I think just like there's lack of exposure more than anything.
And another thing as well, so if I go into engineering, I'm so limited to how many people are there in my social life, because say if I make friends from my class, like I'll have like 5, but if people are social and they like to socialize, they just won't even think about going into engineering, because that really does limit your
it does
friends, circles. That's it.
Did you have a lot of like friends from outside engineering when you were at uni?
I had like 4 really good friends when I was at uni, and they were all from engineering, but obviously they had their housemate, I had my housemate, so that's how we became friends with like wider audience. But it was mostly like, I was closest with those 4 friends. I probably shouldn't say that. No, I was close to everyone.
You're close to everyone.
But I think it's just because you spend so much time with them, obviously you are going to be, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely. And I guess that's kind of like the problem with me as well, or people that were doing engineering. We didn't have a lot of female friends.
It's weird.
That's always the thing. Like as a male, obviously you'd want to balance as well. It's not, you want to go to a place where it's equally supported, and I kind of felt that this is not equal. This place is not equal. There were, out of like 50 students, there were like 3 ladies.
You probably had less than that.
Yeah,
like
so mechanical was even less.
Yeah.
And so I just hope that people get more exposure. I think this actually needs to start around when you're at school. I think they have to start early, like telling kids that there is other things that you could actually do in life, not just like whatever
that's it
you see someone else do.
Yeah.
And I think it's again down to education, as you said.
Yeah, I think it's just informing people really. Is there's options, and let them make the decision.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, is there any bias that you've noticed, and have you ever had like? Yeah, you've said that there's this person that done this and that. Have you seen someone else do something else to someone else? Like just a few. What I'm talking about is gender discrimination and bullying because of the gender. Have you seen anything like that?
So when I was at uni, we had a coursework due, and me and two of my friends, we did like well, maybe better than some of the guys that were doing the same amount. And there was literally a comment made that, oh, we did better because we wear skirts and stuff. And these are the people that were the good people of the class, like the, educated, like nice, like, and at my work, someone said to my face within my maybe first week or maybe a couple of weeks of starting that, oh, do you not think like women are better at like maternal jobs like nursing and what else did this, nursing and teaching or something like that, and then male are better at engineering? And I was thinking, I'm literally here doing this job with you. How can you say this? And stuff like that I have noticed, but you can't be sad about that. And when I was at uni, I called it out because I knew
that was bad.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like a raindrop.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, so I called it out because I was like, well, I'm not, this is not right. I'm not having it. And we got an apology and everything. And I think they realised what they did was wrong, but they didn't even think about it before saying it. But the one at work, because I'd only just started, I didn't feel comfortable enough to call it out. And I've always regretted that. It's always like sat with me. I was like, why didn't I say something right there and then? Like, just made him realise that he probably doesn't even realise that he just said it as a passing comment. Like, I should have just said something.
Some people do that. They have they call it a banter. Everything's a banter to them.
Yeah, especially can you take a joke?
Engineering banter is quite extreme. And I've seen that myself. And I've got a few female friends. They do like bit of engineering, project management, and you could sense that when they're in that room and there are other male engineers, you could tell that there's a big tension. As soon as the lady starts speaking, you could tell that there are people that want to disrespect her, and I can't stand that. And
it is odd. I would say that 90% of people I've met, I felt really comfortable with, and I felt like I can voice my opinion, I can say everything, and they're not sexist if we're going to use the word. But there are going to be 10% people. But again, obviously a workplace can only do so much. They can tell people, if there's a clear discrimination, they're going to take actions against you. But most of the time, these comments are made in such a passing way that it makes you feel, was that sexist?
Yeah, was that sexist? Yeah.
But then I'm not even sure what that was. And by the time you're questioning and stuff, it's past, and
you don't know how to react.
You don't know. And I think the best thing like we can do is just make sure you work, or you make your workplace aware that stuff like this is happening. You need to be more.
Ask you that question.
What?
Saying if someone's suffering from similar problems and going through the same stress, what would you recommend them to do? What's the best course of action that they can take? Best route to take, basically. Go to HR, or what? How would you?
See, I would personally. Obviously, there are people I don't feel comfortable with, but there are loads of people I feel super comfortable with, and I'll just call them up straight away and it's like, this is what they said. What do you want me to do? And then they will advise me what to do. But again, I said I do let a lot of things slide because I don't want to be that person that's like calling everyone all the time and complaining. And because as sad as that sounds, the more you complain, the less your complaint is heard. So yeah. I think I would advise obviously people to, even if you have like an anonymous forum or something like that, like, put it, submit it.
There's
there.
always a box somewhere. Anonymous box. So
you should always voice it. It's happening because, if you don't voice it, no action will be taken.
And don't just be bullied.
Yeah,
Make sure
that's
you call them out.
No, yeah.
That's actually a good
good
suggestion.
Not everyone's comfortable with confrontation.
Not everyone's vocal, either. And soon as it actually links to like their self-confidence as well. As soon as someone's bullying them and stuff like that, they're gonna feel like shit, basically. Especially
if it happens every single day for a long time, it starts to make you feel like, oh, maybe it is me.
Yeah. And then you start doubting yourself. We should probably move on to your...
Yeah, and that is how it starts.
That's how it links. I just love when it links.
Well done.
It just links.
That's really good.
Right, so we move on to It's been half an hour.
Wow. Well,
it
we're talking.
Flies. What have you said so far?
Nothing.
The thing is, after you complete this, you're going to think, what the hell have I just
We talked a lot of crap.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you listen back, you're like, oh, wow, this is quite good.
Hopefully
it's
you
always
feel
good.
that way.
No, it's always good.
We'll see.
But yeah, all good. Do you want a Diet Coke?
No, I'm all right.
Yeah?
Thank you. Yeah,
Or anything?
I've
Snacks?
got water.
Yeah.
That's fine, thank
you can grab water if you want. Right. Now we move on to, it just flowed, so let's just move on to the imposter syndrome. What is that? Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
You know, once I told you, oh, maybe we can talk about this, and you said, I don't know what this is, I was shocked.
I was
shocked.
No.
And I looked so much into it after, because I feel that way. All of my friends who did civil engineering feel that way, female, people of color.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, is this like linked, related? Because you said you have no clue. No. I was like, what? How can you not know?
And then I was looking at TED Talks to be like, to see what is this?
I didn't have much time to look into it. But obviously I already knew what it was, because I felt like sometimes, like, there's so many people at work that tell me, oh, I'm really good and I've got this new job because I've got recommendation, because, you know, they were like, oh, you can, like, we want you, basically.
Yeah. Probably not heard that.
Good. No, but there are people constantly telling you, oh, you're good. And I know that, like, I'm good, but obviously there are things I'm not good at, but I kind of hold on to those things and I feel like, oh my God, you know, I'm not good at anything.
It's your weaknesses.
Yeah, so you basically take one thing, there could be 100 of things you're good at, but you take one thing that you've kind of messed up or you don't know what you're doing, and you think, oh, I don't know how to do anything. I'm a fraud. I'll get found out. Like, why do I have this job?
So that's what you meant by imposter syndrome.
Yeah, so I just feel like, oh, do I deserve this sometimes? But
it's like, worthiness then, yeah?
Yeah, but when you if I put a list, I know I deserve it, but I'm always like focused on the little bit of the list, you know, tiny tick, the small one, but that's this bit that bothers. And I was looking into why this happens, and apparently it comes from like underrepresentation, and obviously being in engineering,
race,
color, race, everything, and I think that plays a part because we are underrepresented. And obviously like microaggression at work, like, you know, sexist remarks and stuff like that. It like makes you start to realize, oh, am I worth it? And then that's what happens. Should I be doing this? You know,
how often
other
have
people
you had that kind of thought? Should I be doing this? And how often does it actually affect you?
I feel happens a lot. Like not if I should be doing this. I do love my job, so I know I should be doing this, but there are a lot of things like, oh, I don't know how to do this, like, and then I feel like, should I know how to do this? Like, is this obvious? And sometimes I'll like call someone, I'd be like, I was like, I feel really daft, but what is this? You know, they'll talk about something, and then I was like, what is that? I don't know what that means. So and then I'll ask questions.
Do you normally go to like a female representative or like a manager or something?
There's no real female. Okay. No, there's only like one other female I work with, and she's more like on the other disciplines.
Gotcha. So you do have to go to a male.
Yeah, but I feel comfortable with these people.
Yeah, so
it's fine. Yeah. So, but sometimes I do feel that, but the other people, you know, that like say like, oh, well done on this and well done on this, and you've done that, and you know, I just don't get it. I don't know where it comes from, but it obviously comes from somewhere, and then it happens to, like, you know, all my friends. And when I was reading about it after I talked to you the other day, and I saw like, oh, it happens to like women and people of color, like affects them mostly. I literally took a screenshot and sent it to my friends. I was like, it all makes sense, you know.
Yeah, it does. Now I'm thinking back as well. The lady at work, she's of color as well, and yeah, there is a bit of discrimination there that I see. As well, it's not as bad as you've said, but there is like.
Have remarks. I said it's really bad?
Some of the stuff, yeah.
Like, those two comments, yeah.
Those comments were bad.
Yeah.
So it's not that extreme, but there'll be like a passing comment, and you think, why? Why would you say that?
Yeah, passing comments are worse because
you don't have to react. Did that
just happen?
Yeah.
Am I making a big deal of it?
And there is no time for you to react as well. And that's the problem.
Yeah. So. And if that happens all the time, that would lead to imposter syndrome. That would like lead it completely. That would make her think, oh, am I worth it? You know? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's So you've never experienced anything like that? Because I even asked, I asked this like my manager ages ago, and they said, "Oh, do you experience this?" And he just looked at me like, "You're crazy." And I was like, "What?"
The only thing is, at times I think like my degree, before I did masters, I thought I would needed a masters to make sure that I was a good engineer. So that for me was like, in terms of, let's say, worthiness, I kind of thought maybe I need, a bit more education for me to make sure that I'm an expert. So that was the only kind of thing that I felt that I might need to do to make myself worthy. But other than that, like going into work, because I've seen people in position without education, without any, they've got experience, but without any management skills, without absolutely any knowledge of the product, and they're up there. And I think to myself, man, I should be up there.
And I feel that with you. I feel like, how have you got here with what you know? And I feel like that with so many people all the time. And I'm still like doubting myself. Why is that happening?
And it's a good thing that my engineers, or our managers, so not engineers, managers, because they come from the 70s, 60s, and they didn't necessarily need education. They come from either apprenticeship or from a different, experience-based ladder. So they don't have that educational background. So I've always been treated very well by my managers because of the education that I've had. So they think, because I've got a master's, I know everything.
No way.
So it's the other. Is it okay? It's the other spectrum for me. Like, I don't know what the opposite of imposter is. Like, they've always treated me like very well. Like, I know my stuff. And at that time, I do feel like, they might be over, giving me too much importance and stuff like that. So that's the only time I feel less worthy. But other than that, I think that there are people at work who are not dummies. I don't want to say dummies, but they are dummies.
They're watching this.
And they're at very high positions as well. So if they can be there, I should definitely be where I am.
Yeah.
At least this is what I deserve.
Perspective.
And I keep going and asking for pay rises as well. Because I think, oh, come on. If you're there, you're getting that much pay. I've literally gotten people to ask for pay rises as well. And if you're here for another 15 minutes, I'm going to say go and ask for pay rises. Because I think as engineer in the UK, we don't deserve the pay that we get.
100%.
We can talk about pay in a sec.
100%.
But how do you, let's go back to imposter syndrome. How would you tackle that? And what are the remedies?
Not sure remedies, but it's weird. I feel that way. But in the back of my head, I know I'm good. as cocky as that sounds, I know, what I know is I work hard and I try. Two things a lot of people lack. I might not know things, but not everyone's going to know everything. People don't know anything. Until I've come across this topic before, I'm not going to know anything about this topic. So I just keep telling myself, it doesn't matter if you don't know, as long as you work hard and try hard and you're doing your best, it doesn't matter. And then I think that's it, really.
Yeah, and I do a lot of affirmation myself. I'm quite spiritual. Become spiritual.
You said.
And that could be like a different topic for next
another guest.
Or you could come back and we can talk about spirituality and stuff. So I'm more into I'm worthy. I can't. There's cut everything short. I'm worthy, and there's it's all about abundance for me, and there's everything for me, everything for you. There's no lack, and there is no competition. The whole thing comes because you think there's a lack and there's competition, and people try to fight for one job to another. For me, it doesn't matter. I'm not competing with you. I'm competing with myself, the worst version of myself, and every day I'm trying to make myself better. And that's the only problem that I have.
Great way to look at it.
So in that sense, I don't have a problem with worthiness, and someone tells me I can't do stuff. Someone might say, look, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to do this. Okay, come and tell me that. I'm going to say thank you and just carry on.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah. I'm not into...
Don't take things to heart is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Cool. So, right. So move on to... These are going to be very small topics because we're coming not to an end, but we've got about 20 minutes.
You're going to crop some stuff out or no?
No.
Raw,
all
right, okay.
Raw.
Wow, okay.
Trying to keep it as raw as possible.
That's pretty good, actually.
And we've done well. There's nothing that we need to cut out.
Okay.
So... Pay in engineering. What do you think that is like? Is it worth it in the UK, especially in Australia, America? There's very high pay for engineers. The starting is amazing. In UK, it's not that much.
Yeah, so I think it's really difficult because...
Is it worth the value?
I have to think about this. I think, right.
All right.
I started, yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think you deserve the pay that you get right now, or do you think you deserve to get a lot more? I know you've changed jobs now because it could be pay related, it couldn't be. But you can talk about it.
I'm happy with where I am.
Were you okay? Like, if you didn't have this new job, would you have gone and asked for pay rise?
I was happy with where I was, but I'm a lot more happier with where I am. But
is it better pay? Obviously.
Obviously.
See,
obviously.
Yeah, you have to move for money.
You have to always. But I think I've just been in a. I don't know why I've just been in a very lucky position. I've just, I got a job. Yeah. Starting salary was good, and then I just kept on going, and it was just been, honestly, this is what I feel quite bad, like I shouldn't feel bad for moving, but I was just like, they've done nothing wrong to me, and it's been like a really great come to work for, but I'm just moving because first of all I wanted to go on a different project, and that they were not making that for me, and if more money comes with it, I'm going to take it.
And like that's something that I've noticed people, or even myself, moving from first job to the second one is always difficult. And you think like, what are they going to say? What's the company going to say? Like, they've done so much for me, and they've trained me so much. Like, I feel like not like a fraud, but I feel like a scam artist. Like, I've been here. Yeah. I've kind of showed like, I want to be here, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I say I feel bad, but literally I would leave, and within a month no one would care. Like, even that, I'll probably be missed for a week. It's like,
Yeah, as a personality, you'll be missed. But there's always someone that will replace your job, if you see what I mean. Yeah, that's always the case, isn't it? If you've got a good relationship with your managers. Like, I'm still in contact with my manager from 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Only one person from that job. Because him and we gelled in terms of personality. Not just work-related stuff. We didn't used to talk about work. But I still go see him in town, and we have coffee and stuff.
That's nice.
So, and then we share stuff, and that's what I'm saying. He missed my personality, not particularly the job I was doing, because there's someone else that could do. Any job is replaceable, but personality is not replaceable. That's what it is, I think.
But I guess going back to money and is engineering worth in the UK? I mean, it's obvious in the UK, every single profession gets paid a lot less than Australia, America. So, if I don't know, in that sense, also, we obviously get paid a lot less than them country, but
and the title engineer itself is not protected, is it?
No. So and the title really doesn't really mean much. Yeah. It's just we just do a job.
Yeah,
really.
But I think the pay scale here is determined with the title. So, and that's the problem. So in Australia, if someone's doing a technical stuff like plumbing or whatever, they will be called plumber, electrician and stuff like that. Here everyone's an engineer.
Tom, Dick and Harry.
Yeah, so the pay itself is kind of like condensed in that way. It becomes a problem for us as professional engineers. And I don't want to live with it. That's why I'm changing my career. But you got to change jobs for progression. That's one thing I suggest to everyone is if you stay in the company, you can, unless you're like super good and you're like tight with all the big bosses and you can like move and jump and you've got like massive personality, you have to move if you want to, earn decent living. Yeah, so it's not about changing jobs.
No, it's good. And also, you don't want to be too comfortable in one place. That's another thing. I've been in this job for coming up to 3 years, and like the thought of getting a new job scares me. And I was like, I shouldn't be this scared. It's just a job, So I just don't want to be in a position where I'm with a company for like 10 years. No.
It become institutionalized.
Because you see people like that, and they're so scared to.
Yeah, that's the word, isn't it?
Well, they're just scared to move. Yeah. And it's just sad. And it's just like, I just need to keep pushing myself.
That's good. Good. And hope everything goes well. And you've got a new job, obviously, that you've said. Hope everything goes well.
Thank you.
Your progression goes well.
Thank you.
Because we're coming to an end with the engineering stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it's
And
done. It must be boring people.
Yeah, it must
hopefully.
be boring for But it's been fun. I think there's a lot of things that you've said, nuggets that you've dropped.
Yeah.
And when you watch back, you're going to realize that, okay, wow. There's some good stuff for people that want to get started and people that, want to carry on.
Yeah, you know what? If it inspires one person to join engineering, and that's it, isn't
Just
it?
final remarks on engineering, progression, anything that you want to say before we move on to next.
Anyone can do it. If you're worried that, because quickly going back, I didn't do well in my A-levels, so I did foundation year. So in foundation year, I got a flavour of all the engineering. So it was petroleum engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and there was a bit of a business as well. So then I had I could pick what I wanted to do after my foundation year. So I was actually, it was a lot more debate between mechanical and civil, but I went for civil in the end because I don't know, I'm not good with cars. So, that's why I think I'm mechanical engineering, right?
Making cars. I do.
But anyone can do it. If you're worried that, it's not for you, it's not just maths and science. There can be a tiny bit of maths and science you have to do, but honestly, you just need to
just try out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's your engineering segment done. Next one I want to talk about is a bit more fun stuff now.
All right, okay.
Profession aside. You've done
was fun.
Yeah, you've done solo traveling.
Oh yeah. You just put that there, didn't you? I
solo
saw.
traveling.
I was like, yeah.
So what was that like? And you was backpacking, wasn't it? You actually went out and you're like, okay, I'm out. I'm gonna explore India. You went Thailand,
Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. I forgot about Cambodia.
You've done that for...
Indochina.
Did you go to Nepal at the same time?
No, I didn't. No. But this is it. So I've been wanting to do... Because I knew I finished uni in March and I didn't start... Oh, that scared me. And I didn't start my new job till September. So I had all that time in between. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I really want to go travel, but I don't want to go on my own. I was like, and I was really hoping one of my friend would come with me because she said, I want to come. And I was like, I was kind of waiting around. And I said to her one day, I said, are you actually going to come? And she's like, I don't think I have the money. And I was like, okay. And then I just went. So solo. So I went to the travel agent, estate agent. And then and then I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't really know where I want to go, but I want to kind of do the Southeast Asia. And then we booked a flight from Heathrow to India, Delhi, from Delhi to Goa, from Goa to Thailand, and Thailand and back, because that was for £800.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you how much it cost the overall trip, but
the trip cost a bit more.
Yeah,
but the flight itself was around 800 quid.
Nothing.
Like all that.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that?
Can you still do that?
Well, to be fair, every time I've been to Nepal, I've not paid more than $450.
I don't know how you do that.
I just keep looking. Oh
yeah, the best way is apparently you got to put it on incognito mode as well.
Oh yeah, I've
it
heard
doesn't
that.
track your cookies.
Yeah. It probably does work.
And every time you go back, what it does is, because you're so desperate now, right? So what they do is they up the price every time because they can track your cookies. So
that's so wrong, isn't it?
Just go on incognito mode.
And there's also what days you can book and what time you can book. Apparently all that makes a difference. But so but obviously I wouldn't really call it a solo traveling because I paid money for someone to take me around. I went on my own, but it was a trip. It was like a tour thing I did. So do you want to know how much it cost me altogether?
Overall trip,
The whole thing. I actually looked up the other day because I felt like you were going to ask me. It was around 4.5k.
Which
including
how long was that?
It's 2 months.
That's
I thought it was decent.
Worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to travel agent and said this is what I want to do, and they booked me on a tour, and it was like, I think like 18 to 35 age group tour. So I went there, met a lot of people, you know, some similar minded, some very different minded, but yeah.
But I guess you get to see the culture side, food obviously, that's like the most important bit. And then you get to see people. I think that's when you interact with people from different places and different background, that's where I think you learn the most, I think. And traveling solo, that I haven't done it myself, and I'm acting like I'm an expert, but I think I want to do that. So just drop me the name of the travel agency first.
I will do it. Yeah. But it was really interesting, because when I first went to India, I'd just gone from here, I was a lot fairer, you know, I was treated like outsider.
Yeah.
But then as I start going there, I gained a lot of tan and I was treated like insider. But I'd go to places and I'd just talk to them in Hindi, you know, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, you can speak Hindi, and then they'll just start talking and it's treated differently, which was nice, but also came to a point where I just, you know, don't want to talk to all the people all the time because it's taking all my time. So I just, oh, can you speak Hindi? I was like, no.
Not anymore. I could, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So I think traveling itself is fun, isn't it? Not just solo traveling. Traveling itself is fun. Do you have any plans that you want to, like, you can incorporate with the working or work-life balance, that however you want to do it? Could you think, or would you ever do it again?
Yeah, so traveling is fun, and solo traveling is fun because I didn't have to, I get quite agitated with people sometimes. So, you know, I want to do this and I was like, oh, we can't do this because, you know, it's like a lot of waiting around when you're with someone, which is nice, but also when you can just get up and go and do something is so much nicer, and you can just plan. So I did really enjoy solo traveling, and I probably would do it again if, you know, if the opportunity, or if I could make the opportunity, I guess. But yeah, I think traveling's always been top of, I guess, everyone's list of things to do, isn't it? Like and yeah, I will work and I'll take holidays and I'll just travel. Yeah.
Where's your next destination you're planning? Obviously, we haven't travelled. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, I think I probably want to go to Nepal.
That's why I'm planning to go there end of August.
Hopeful.
If Boris is watching this, please just put Nepal on like amber.
If Boris is watching this,
just put it on amber or like green list so I can go there, because I've got a lot of plans to do. I want to do this stuff there as well.
That would be very good,
people, like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And
but what are you worried about though? Because obviously you can work from home and you're only working 2 days. So even if
I can't work from home, no, I have to go in. But I don't care about that job side of things, because that is coming to an end anyway. For me, it's just setting everything up and going there and planning my life out there, in terms of like, I want to stay there for 2 or 3 months. So what I'm going to be doing there, all that stuff, you see what I mean? Like the details basically. Yeah. I'm not worried. It's just like I can't travel physically from the UK at the moment.
Oh, is there no flights?
And you can't, like, if you go there, you got to quarantine. And if there's an emergency, you have to come back. Then you got to pay like 2K just to stay in the hotel.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
So all that stuff is putting me back, and also I haven't had my second jab yet, so I'm waiting.
That will change once you have your second jab.
Have my second jab, and then fingers crossed, end of August or September. Hopeful. Brave. Go there and do this.
Yeah, I haven't booked anything. Yeah, I'll just let it be. Yeah. I'll see a bit of UK, I thought. Yeah.
Is there any particular projects that you want to work in Nepal, like related to your field? Is there anything like you want to kick off and you think there's something lacking or something you can improve?
You know, when they laid that road in Nepal ages ago, and they had to dig it all out because they forgot to put the water pipes through. I was like, where's the planning at?
There's no planning.
I just could not.
Yeah, that's beyond us.
So I have thought about, you know, maybe I want to do something in the future, but I haven't given any serious thought. But I think, again, I feel like once I'm a bit more established, I want to do something. But I guess when's that time going to come? You just have to make yourself available, really.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah, you can always make excuses though, can't you? Like, that's why I feel like, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. But I think, to be ready, you got to take that step, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll never be ready.
Well, that's,
You see what I mean? If you want to do it, then you'll be like, the thing I'm going to be doing, I don't know what I'm going to be doing when I'm there, but I just want to go there and see what it is.
Yeah.
But once you're there, you can actually be like, okay.
You have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. There is
you
no
have
option.
to do it. Yeah, that's it.
So you have to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what the plans are. But there's so much stuff in terms of civil engineering based projects, even international projects out there. That would be pretty awesome as well.
Yeah,
if you can find one and
water and sanitation and stuff like that. That would be good. But I don't know. I can tell you, there's a lot of. So someone at work, he did like his Spanish guy, and he did a charity work, and he went to Nepal and built like I think water station and sanitation area and all that, and he did that for 6 months. So I was like, wow, that's really good, but I don't really feel comfortable doing that because it's very much done by tourists and who go there and help, and I don't really feel like
no I see what you mean.
I don't feel I can do that, not in Nepal anyway. So I don't know. I need to really, if I want to work, or I need to think about it.
You can actually get projects paid UK money and go work there. You could do that as well. And that will be probably the most better way to do it, because you get paid here. And then
but I don't want to just, again, work for establishment.
No, just for money-wise. No, I'm not saying that. But if the project is decent enough, what I'm saying is you don't have to go and take a massive cut and go there. Because usually it's about money. When you go to Nepal and work there, it'll be obviously lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But you can also do that for a few months.
If I do go to Nepal, it's not going to be, I'm not going there because I'm trying to make money. I'm going there because I want to do something and I want to help people. It's not so. But
the project's got to have a purpose, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It is a purpose-driven project.
Yeah. And also, I don't want, someone here, like a company here, doing a project in Nepal. I don't want that. I don't know. I need to think about it.
You have enough time. I think we could talk about that in the next episode.
Your part 2.
Part 2. What are your plans? And there's a lot of things we missed out. I think we're coming to an end. Anyway.
So there were 4 topics you said, right?
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome.
Talked about everything. Gender
we talked
gap.
about everything. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
So somehow we linked it all together.
Yeah.
The only thing is that obviously we want to keep it.
We didn't talk about gender gap.
Or gender discrimination.
Oh, right. Okay.
What about gender gap? Go on.
So you're going to talk about gender pay gap.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's do that. 3 minutes. Gender gap. There is a massive gap, obviously, in every single industry, not just engineering. Women versus men. Even BBC, when they published that, they realized that we're actually paying, person doing the same job, a male is getting more than female. Why? Like, what do you have to say about the gender gap thing?
So I actually read like a gender gap report every year because that's like really fascinates me, and it again comes from actually the reason there is gender gap. When they do a UK gender gap survey, what they do is they take whoever, like men that work, and then they calculate that their salary hourly, and then they take all the women that work and they calculate their salary hourly, and then they compare the two, and the problem again arises because there's just more men in higher position, therefore they're getting paid more. So I don't think anyone in same position as me in engineering is getting paid more than me, right? But what I do think is all the people, higher people, senior staff in engineering, like the director, project manager, they're all men. So they're bringing and again, it just comes from, I think, just trying to get women in those roles and discrimination and all that.
Progression, I guess, right?
That's it, yeah. And I think, women feel like they don't belong in those roles because of all those things we talked about. Yeah. So that's why there's gender gap. So to close that, really, we just need more women in those positions.
And how do you think we could do that? Is it lack of opportunity, or is it, them not putting themselves out there?
I think it's just... It's not just engineering. It's just every single job. I think it's just...
I think the way it's from the history, isn't it? The society has always been male-driven, dominated, held the position all the time. and they're power hungry. They don't want to give that position away. And that's slowly changing now.
Yeah, that's slowly changing, and I think it will come with time and education, and maybe when companies, it's really difficult because okay, we don't want to go into that because I can talk, but I think we just need to make women empowered to get in that position in the first place. You can do it. Yeah. You're worth it. Yeah. And that's how we can close the gender gap to begin with.
Guys, are you watching? Are you watching this?
Yeah.
The power is there. She's going all out now, She's going to come land some punches and
no, I'm not going to do
jobs.
That. I'm coming for that.
She's coming for the jobs.
Yeah, I'm coming for the jobs.
I think we've come to an end.
All right,
I know there is a lot that we didn't cover.
Yeah,
and we can
but
talk
it's all right.
7 hours,
wow.
10 hours, whatever.
We talked for a while.
We did. It's been just over an hour.
Hopefully it's all recorded well.
Hopefully, don't say that now. It'd be too late to realise. If not, we'll do it again. It's fine. You just need your time, obviously. I'm free all the time.
I've got time, but I don't know if I've got the energy.
Yeah. But we'll do it again.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to have you again.
Oh, thanks.
You've been a fabulous guest.
We'll see how this one goes first, because I'll watch it. And then if
just give different topics, and then we change the topics around. And then we can talk about completely different stuff.
Okay, yeah, that'll be all right.
And then we can talk about you getting into spiritual stuff, and then you not getting into spiritual stuff.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, you exercising, not exercising. Alcohol,
we can talk about that. We can talk about that.
No alcohol. Talk about absolutely everything.
Those are like the worst topics for me, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll do like the worst episode. Like pick up all the worst topics and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, worst habits.
Lovely to have you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and pleasure being here.
Yeah, thank you for driving down.
That's all right.
And hope your ban gets lifted and you can give blood. Or I might give blood.
Well, you better book it tomorrow.
Unless my iron level's down. But I'm going to eat loads now before I go. Have like red
meat.
Loads, just down.
Lamb, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Guys. Come on, man. Let's do the final bit. Come on. Intro. Again. Intro. Yeah, so come on.
Sorry, I'm in shorts.
Yeah, so guys are wearing the shorts. And
compared to us, I mean,
she's like formally dressed, and I'm like half dressed. Yeah, so this is Hard Rock Cafe, Kathmandu, hometown. So repping Nepal. And what do you want to say, man?
I got nothing to say.
Hard Yak Cafe.
Hard Yak. Oh yeah, had some Hard Rock.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's been really interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. How was the interview? Did you enjoy it?
It's not interview, is it?
The podcast.
It was a bit nerve-wracking at the beginning, but then I started talking and it was fine.
She did absolutely well, and her voice is gonna come out so much better. Yeah, I'm still trying to put the bassiness on it.
Don't say that.
That's good. Rani Mukherjee syndrome. All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all. Bye bye.